just like doing that.
Important.
All right. Looking at the agenda here, you should have received the minutes from the November 7th meeting prior to this. Are there any additions or corrections?
If she could call the roll, please.
Oh, that's also important. The clerk may call the roll.
Mr. Shires?
Here.
Mr. Ball?
Here.
Mr. Reinhardt?
Here.
Ms. Busenberg? Mr. Gant?
Here.
All right, we have a quorum. Now you should have received the minutes from the November 7th meeting. Are there any additions and corrections? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve the minutes?
Have a motion? Is there
I'll
a
second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No. All right. Motion carries. Move on now to the adjustment journal for November.
We have nothing. Meeting?
Sounds good to me. Makes that easy.
How'd that happen?
Next up, new business. Got the Schrock Premier Construction of Loudonville / Salvation Army commissioned forbearance of fees for water, wastewater taps. All right, who will be speaking on behalf of this situation here?
Okay. All right, good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for giving us this opportunity. As you may well know, the Salvation
Go ahead
Army.
and state your name. just
Oh,
for
I'm
the
so
record.
sorry. Christine Moretz. Do you
Thank
need
you.
my address too? Because I do that in City
it's fine.
Council. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. Christine Moretz. As you may well know, the Salvation Army is a nonprofit organization, and we work strictly off of donations. For this project of building a child care center, we are working to improve the quality of life here in Mount Vernon and changing lives one child at a time with this child care center. And so we are requesting a forbearance of 50% of the permit fees for the water and wastewater taps. And that will help us to stretch those donation dollars as far as they can go to have the best facility that we can provide to our city.
I'm Austin Swallow. Just to add on to what the captain said, we've been good neighbors to the city in the East Ohio street location for almost 75 years. And we want to construct, as you can see on your piece of paper, we want to construct a over 13,000 square foot child care center. And we have been working with the city in all of the advance details that we need to speak with them, and Brian has been helpful, Tanner's been helpful. They brought some things to us this morning that we need to take care of, and we will, because we do want to be good neighbors as well. And so we have worked with the gas company and the electric company, and they are helping us with their fees and taps and things like that. So we're just asking if you could help us by reducing your fees by 50%. Your fees total $38,860, and we're just asking if you could reduce those by half to a new total of $19,400. With little children, we'll have plenty of water going through that tap there, and feel like we can help the city by our water bill going up and our wastewater bill going up. So if we can work together, that's all that we're asking for. Thank you.
All right. So there is a, state for the record, for anybody watching, there are current fees under permit 202-4593 for water and wastewater permit 202-4594. Collection or total for those two fees is $38,860.11. The request from the Salvation Army is to reduce those fees by 50%, or $19,430.05. I'll kick this over to our utilities director and our engineer for comment.
Yeah, Okay, so the first question I always ask the architect, do you really need a 2-inch water meter? And I asked the architect that. I didn't get an answer. So a very quick way to reduce the cost is to reduce the size of the meter. You're in a low area, you have consistent, I'll look at Josh, probably never gonna be less than 73 PSI. You have tank toilets or automatic, like flush toilets.
What's the difference between tank
Does it have a
toilet?
little
There's a
gray
tank
handle?
on the back.
Does it have
or-
the I think that we're gonna make them automatic.
Okay. So,
Because children forget to flush the toilet.
yeah. So going down to 1.5 meter significantly, it's exponentially more expensive because as the
Okay.
pipe gets bigger, the cross-sectional area gets a lot bigger. So a quick way to reduce the fees, I didn't bring the sheet, but if we drop down to 1.5 meter, a lot of those toilets will probably work on 1.5 meter with a 2-inch supply line. And that would reduce both sets of fees. So water taps and wastewater tap, it's all based on the size of the meter. So the bigger the meter, the more work Aaron has to do to guarantee you the supply.
Okay.
And in the future too, it saves you on your
Yep.
utility bill.
And that also reduces your monthly bill.
Okay. Thank you for that information. Aaron?
Aaron's right here.
Oh, Aaron, sorry.
Josh is over there.
Josh is over there, got it.
Yeah.
You mentioned 73 PSI-ish.
Ish.
Could you define that better? I'm writing notes so that I can take them back to the architect. What
I
do
can get you an exact, I can get you a range based on our model.
Yeah,
So what a lot of times happens, the architect puts in whatever meter the pipe size is spec'd. But then when you get out to the to the plumber and the professionals doing that part of the work, they'll give you better guidance and say, well, we could run a 2-inch pipe, drop down to 1.5 meter or a 1-inch meter, and it will do everything you need because you're not doing any kind of manufacturing. You're probably not mass producing food. If you had the same facility on top of a hill, you wouldn't have necessarily the same pressure. And so you would need more volume to make the toilets work.
got it. But since we're on the flat and we're going straight out to Howard Street,
Yeah, you're in a lower area, so lower in elevation, you'll be in a slightly higher pressure than like we would be here at City Hall.
yeah, got it. Okay, thank you.
How many toilets do you have? It's been a long time since we looked at the plan.
Oh. Probably 15.
Yeah.
It's like, I'd have to go back and count, but it's like one in every classroom and then a main one that has like 3 toilets each and for boys and girls, so.
Yeah, and I'm not your plumber, I'm not the state inspector, but the other thing, if you went down to a smaller meter, you may, very low cost, you may be able to add a small pressure tank to inside the system so that if everybody takes a break at the same time and they all, you would still have adequate pressure. That's something also that could be a low-cost alternative to a 2-inch meter would be a small pressure tank on the inside, on your side of the city meter. And again, like Aaron pointed out, the bigger the meter, the bigger there's a monthly bill, the multiplier, the same meter, the same cost of the permit multiplier applies to the monthly bill. So
Okay, got it.
the smaller the meter, the smaller the monthly bill.
All right,
So-
sir.
That's very helpful, thank you.
Any other instructions?
Josh, is there a hydrant or something out there where we could put a pressure recorder and get an
I'm
exact?
sure we can get, I can probably have something by the end of the day.
And then maybe once, depending on where it is, once the weather warms up, because those will freeze if we have them on there, so maybe once the weather warms up above freezing.
March or April?
It'll be warm, right after Christmas, right? It'll be sunny and 70.
If we can get a pressure on, I mean, we can just get a quick read on the pressure and.
Yep.
Okay,
That would give you something more for your
Yep.
water tap.
thank you. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so again, we asked these questions, I'm not sure where they went. Both of the permits have been paid by the contractor.
They happen.
They're all paid.
Okay.
So that, I guess, my recommendation is the meter obviously hasn't been installed.
Uh-huh.
But my recommendation is look at, talk to the contractor, talk to the architect, we'll get some pressure readings, see if we can drop this.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
See if we can drop this down to an inch and a half.
Yep.
And let me get a proposal on what the fees would be for the 1.5 meter and related sewer tap.
Okay, thank you.
Then a deduction for hiring you as sergeant at arms.
Yes.
Credit, yeah. There's a credit for work, for services
Services
provided.
rendered, yeah. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So can I call you at the end of the day?
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Oh, yeah, after this, I'll get you
Yeah,
the number now.
yeah, okay. Thank you.
And then if somebody leaves their email, I can email you the pricing of the other, the 1.5 inch full setup.
She's the
Perfect.
paid employee with the CODs. I'm just a volunteer. I don't have CODs.
I like those, yeah, great. Yeah, we'll get you that right afterward.
I know you put my email, but there it is.
I probably do some. Okay, other questions?
No, sir. Any other instructions? Thank you for your guidance.
Yeah, thank you so much.
No, we're very excited about the project. I mean, generally, it's a good partnership. One of the things we're doing on the stormwater side, they don't have room on their site for stormwater, so we're allowing the stormwater facility to be installed in the road right of way. So that's something that's, a partnership that's ongoing for a great project. And then they're gonna collect some of our stormwater that has collapsed, and in trade, we're providing part of the manhole for that facility, the infiltration.
Thank you.
Yeah, good partnership.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, given that exchange, is there any action that's necessary here?
I would recommend, we could table this because we would most likely be doing a refund since the fees are already paid. So I would recommend we put this on for,
February, give it time to, give your architect time to review and adjust. Date certain here, Rob?
Yeah, that's fine.
yep.
All right. Entertain a motion to table?
So
Date
moved.
certain? All right.
Second?
All right. So we have a motion to table to a date certain. We'll call that the February meeting of the Utilities Commission. Is there any discussion? All right. Believe we call the roll on that one, yeah? Yep. Clerk can call the roll.
Mr. Sires,
Yes.
Mr. Ball,
Yes.
Mr. Reinhardt,
Yes?
Mr. Gant.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. We will move on to old business now. The ever elusive staggered fees final draft.
Got it.
Oh, yes. It's been a long time coming, folks. To whatever news media or AI system that's listening in, this has not passed. Still working on it. Yeah, we'll work on it next May. No. So today is the final run through. So again, we have talked about this ad nauseum. The team has met several times. It's been reviewed by the attorney, whose name is Rob. Is there any other discussion on this? So just to give a brief recap here, and I'll go through the purpose for the sake of on the record and on the video. The purpose of this is to provide housing developers with a cost-effective approach to managing, just like we just saw here, water and wastewater fees by allowing the installation and activation of water taps based on unit occupancy, thereby encouraging development and supporting sustainable growth within the city of Mount Vernon and areas serviced by city utilities. So I want to make sure that people know that this is not a Anyway, a gotcha system has been reported. There is a clawback measure built into this, like there is with most, hopefully all city policies, that if you do not comply with this, then you do have to pay back what was given to you as essentially a incentive on behalf of the city. And then you do lose your privileges with this incentive. But that is just a provision we anticipate, as we are being a good faith partner with developers. We anticipate that coming back to us in return with whatever partner that we work with. So, yes, we've got pretty thorough procedures that are laid out here. That way, we can't be accused of playing favorites. It's very clear that when you come in and you propose or you approach us and you want this kind of a you want this kind of process to assist in your development, did you pay your fee, Rob? You got to keep the lights on around here. All right.
Coin slot.
Yeah. Yeah, the chair vibrates too when you do that. That's an added bonus. So you go through this procedure, you know what to expect, you know what we expect, you know what's incumbent upon us as well, and we lay out, all the steps, reviews, and the approval process. So, is there anything? You guys have any questions? Anything from Rob?
I would,
Vernon? John? Nope. Anything from the public? Any questions? Okay. Well, I have nothing, so
I'll make a motion to adopt this policy.
we have a motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Second? All right. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, clerk can call the roll.
Mr. Sires,
Yes.
Mr. Ball,
Yes.
Mr. Reinhardt,
Yes?
Mr. Gant.
Yes.
All right, excellent. Motion carries. Hallelujah, hallelujah. All right. Now we move on to other business. Is there any other business that needs to come before the Utilities Commission today? Come on up. Yeah.
Do you want to? Hi, thank you for your time.
Can you
My-
please, state your name and then.
Yeah, my name is Fatima Foy. F as in Foxtrot, Alpha Tango, India Mike Alpha, Foy, Foxtrot, Oscar Yellow. I own a couple of rental homes in Mount Vernon, 2 rental homes, and then one that's my primary home. And it came to my attention, I received a notice from the water department saying that they were going to put a lien on the property. I did not know that the tenants weren't paying their wastewater bill. So I started looking into it, and through that investigation, I discovered the property in question is 408 7th Avenue, and they are being, I'm curious about the fee structure for them.
4087
7th Avenue?
7. Okay. 4087.
That is in, just for everyone, that is in Clinton Township,
Correct, yes.
and it has sewer-only service.
Yes.
There's no water service. at that
Correct.
address.
The water is all well water for the entire street.
Okay.
However, the bill that they've been getting is $60 a month, which is more than what we pay, and we live on High Street and we get city water.
Correct.
So
That's because
they
of-
don't get city water. They have well water. And it costs them more for their well water,
No.
but it does.
No,
Okay,
you're not.
I'm sorry, and
So,
I don't understand.
You live in the city.
We
So
do,
you're
yes.
annexed in the city, and so we have multiple service contracts. So inside the city, those of us who
With
live,
the township.
right. So those of us that live in the city have a basic rate. Then we have a 50-year service contract with Clinton Township. So your house at 408 7th Avenue is in Clinton Township.
correct.
Clinton Township has created a sewer and water district. So we have a contract to service that district. The district itself has a $20 and a few cent membership.
Yeah, it's a
fee.
$20, and that definitely makes sense.
Then in addition, we have a 40% surcharge because in the township, houses are further apart. There's more pipe per house. There's more miles of pipe per house.
Okay,
And then we have, the billing office has to do more work because of the contract. The other thing is without city water, the policies are that your tenant they can use any amount of water. It's not metered.
Correct, yeah,
So they're
yeah,
on
you can't meter it, it comes out of the,
Right, so they're on what's called a flat rate. So your basic bill is 400 cubic feet per month for
Okay.
water and sewer in town. Now, if you're like me, my kids love to play with the hose in the summer, so I never get that. But in the township, if you are on unmetered, then the sewer is based on 600 cubic feet of use per month.
okay.
And it's a flat fee, so they could use a lot more water or less, and that's why it's a flat fee.
So they pay $61.64 for sewer. And then they pay a wastewater of an additional $40 a month. So that's $100.
Finally.
And then, okay, the late fee. So
Yeah.
it's $80, so $61.64, and then the township is $20.14. So $81.78 is their regular bill, no matter what,
Yeah.
without city water. Wow, it's more expensive than city water.
Right. The township chose to create a sewer district, and the sewer district has borrowed a large amount of money to build the sewer system. So the surcharges, some of that money goes to the township in addition, and the fee. So township has to pay their debt on their sewer system that they built, and we also provide Josh's crew to maintain the sewer. A billing
Excellent.
office processes the extra fees and those things to help the sewer district. We provide them money of the fees to pay their debt maintenance. So they still owe a large amount of money to the different lending agencies. So
Okay.
I can
So
bring it
the-
up on the website.
Yeah,
That helps.
so you're basically paying the flat rate for the actual service, and then that fee is paying for the debt service for the township, and then all of our, for the distribution and collections team and the billing office to actually provide the service for the manpower. If that makes sense.
And thank you for explaining it. It makes total sense. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so
If the comment is, man, that's expensive,
Well, it's not treated.
try
I mean,
running
it's
the budget.
That's why I was just like, how can they pay? Oh, go ahead.
Right, so
Agreed.
we can go through the numbers. So on our city website, if you go under utilities, there's basically a worksheet that helps explain, kind of like we were talking with Nice Salvation Army. So yes, you have out of city Clinton Township flat rate is $61.64 if you are not metered and only hooked to sewer. Then you have a Clinton Township charge, which is the $20.14. So those are the two things. Now, again, late fees, there's a separate set of equations of how those get calculated.
Did you
And
have
then-
a question?
We don't turn off sewer. So,
Well, yeah.
so if people,
Don't do
don't pay the sewer, we don't turn it off because we're not really allowed to do it. So they
We're not
have-
legally, yes, we're not legally.
We're not legally allowed to do that. So, the total
Just
would
work
be 81.78
78.
is the monthly fee. Now, as we are working as a group with the mayor, with the township, as we do water system expansions in that area, adding the water service will bring the monthly, go from, if you use the minimum, you would go from 61.64 to 41.76. And you'd have to add the cost of
So
the
it's
water.
more expensive to have our own water.
No, it's not.
Well, it's an additional $50 a month to run the treatment for it, because the water isn't treated or
Okay.
tested.
Right, so that is true. So what we're finding is, as we work on these expansions, you're saying how much does the water cost to run? for
Right
you?
now, we pay $50 a month, monthly rental for Hempy water treatment services. And that's completely separate of the waste management bill.
Right, and so if we have to go to
And actually, it's an inadequate system that we have in there right now, which is why I started investigating all this, because I wanted to tie the house into city water before I learned that no city water exists there. Because there's a lot, we had it tested, and there's a lot of iron in that water. It ruins the house pipes. It'd be about $2,500 where we had estimated to get good,
Proper filtration.
proper
system.
filtration, yeah.
Yep.
Buckeye Edition, didn't we have the same scenario though?
Yeah.
Where the cost went down once it.
Right.
went in?
So it would only cost to get city water if, now we've already designed the water system for that area.
okay.
We have the EPA permit. We're working on getting the funding and writing the grants. So I'll kind of look at city council over here. So for basic service in the township, it would be an additional $34.92 a month for water. But then the wastewater bill would go down.
Would we no longer,
So why does it cost less if there's water running there to run the same sewer system?
Because we know how much is going through the system.
Yeah.
Because we don't have because the water coming in generally equals the water going out, unless you're using water to fill a pool or something like that. So that's how we know exactly how much water and how much wastewater we use.
won't the filtration system perhaps capture that data? I don't know.
It doesn't.
I have no idea. It
It's
does, it's not our system.
Oh, it doesn't, there's no meter on
No.
there? Okay, yeah. When this happens, what will we need to cap the well that's in the house? Because there's literally like a hole in the basement floor.
So what we did, we just completed a project in the Buckeye Edition where we got multiple grants and the township also participated. And if you stop using the well, you would have to cap it, but if we can do an inspection and if the tenant or homeowner wants to use that for outside use only, you can show it's only hooked to things that are not going to go into sanitary sewer, like gardening or things like that, that they don't have to be capped. But that process is regulated by the health department, not by us.
But they're not regulating it now. I mean, honestly, like when I found out that I'm like, well, what if there's a problem with the water and the tenants get ill? I mean, do I need to, I don't, should we have it tested?
The Knox Public Health, they'll give you sample jars. I think it's a small fee, and you can get it tested. We highly recommend it. The reason we were able to get state and federal money for the Buckeye Edition is people had done voluntary testing. There were, bacteria detection above safe limits, and those tests were submitted with our grant applications, and that's how that project got funded ahead of other projects. So it's a long process, but we're working, the grant we're processing right now is Crystal Avenue. We do have one negative test, and that's all we have. I mean, there's a lot of homes there. We know there's more, but that's helping us get the grant is by people voluntarily testing their water. Now, if you were a commercial operation, those have to be tested. I don't know that there's any, that's again, the health department's realm.
Okay, so just so I'm not crazy, and unfortunately these tenants are the ones who can least afford it, but it costs more to have a well in your basement and use untreated water than it does to have city water running if you're in town. Right?
Yes.
Pretty much, yeah.
It does.
Wow, okay.
Right. And like I said, I'll speak for myself and maybe others, but we're working really hard with the township because they come to us, I don't know.
And they're working with us too. And a lot of it's the way that they've set up, their sewer and water district and the debt service on that. But again, they're in a situation where what else are they gonna do? Diana or Hotstedler, is that right? Yeah. Donna, that's right. Who is the fiscal officer for the township?
No, she's a trustee.
Trustee.
Okay. Yeah. She's come to city council and basically, said that she's willing and the township's willing to work in tandem with the city, and said that even in the township building, they don't use the water for anything other than washing their hands.
And that's the thing, we
Yeah.
don't, there's no other option for our
Yeah,
tenants,
and it's almost 2025, and to say that that's happening in Knox County is a little
and then
concerning.
paying more for it. And can I ask one more question
sure.
too? I understand, just a question, because our tenants were not paying their bill, and we didn't know that they were supposed to.
Now, this is
have
something
done
we can help with.
Well, well, the thing is, it's the late fees.
Yeah.
Why, and just out of curiosity, I'm happy to pay the bill, I get it, no problem. But why are we responsible for late fees that we didn't know about? Or, if we are responsible for them, do we have the opportunity to view the status of our current tenants' bills to ensure that we don't get incurred with a late fee?
So were you notified that they were going?
I was given a letter 2 weeks before, or like a month before, they were gonna put a lien on the house.
Okay.
And that was my first notification of the issue.
So now I'm going to look over to our utilities director.
That was quick.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you, gentlemen. I really truly appreciate your assistance.
That's why we're here every month.
And I'll go ahead and say, just like you saw with us passing this, staggered fees draft, I will say Mount Vernon has probably lagged behind in actually having policies in place. We've had the way that we do it, but as far as giving guidance to the water billing office, and this is in no way just saying, what are you guys doing wrong? This is saying, from the top down, we need to give them guidance, or otherwise it's just like throwing them to the wolves and being like, well, what are you doing? So this is a good opportunity for us, being in the leadership, to go, are we giving them the guidance they need to properly serve you? So I'm glad you brought this forward. You're not the only ones that have brought this forward, and then we can adjust accordingly. That way you don't have this problem, because the more people that have this problem get, upset, and then they get upset, not to me, because nobody knows what the heck the safety service director does. It sounds like I help kids walk across school in the morning, but they get upset at her, and then they get upset at her, and then that gets upset at him, and then I get upset at him. He doesn't like me getting upset at him.
Make sure he's getting the right guy.
So let's talk that out. What's the process? What's the process of alerting somebody? We've got tenants that don't pay their water bill, and then their landlords or landladies find out 2 weeks before we're sending them over to Shelley Coon. So what's the process?
Won't rely on this
Yeah.
one, because it's a different process.
This poor can is getting kicked so hard.
We're all in the rim.
Yeah.
All in the rim.
But it ain't getting out that door.
Of course, I don't have the information in front of me because I
Sure.
didn't realize they were coming today. But we send a bill every month
Sure.
to the address that we're given. If we're not updated information, then unfortunately it just goes where we were told to send it. So that's really all I have, because
Yeah.
we send it to the addresses we're given or the service address, and they are billed every month.
What's the trigger? Is there a trigger amount at which, because clearly the tenants were getting the bill, and then we got the notification of the potential lien. Is there a trigger amount that moves it to lien, or is it like days in
90
arrear?
It's a period of time. Every 6 months, we'll file the lien process.
Okay, so once you are,
It's about 90
Now, is
days.
there,
It's 90 days.
It's
and then
90
at
days, but
60
we only do it every 6 months.
months. Yeah.
We don't have a rolling, every month we see who's 90 days behind. Twice a year, we go and say who's at least 90 days behind, and then we file the lien paperwork on those.
is the calculation minus the $40 fee? Like, how do you assume that do you see, like, I don't know if people do partial payments. I'm sorry, you can explain it better than I can. Ken.
Well, I guess the big question is, once you turned it over from the renters, and now you're asking us for the money. Now, we paid the $684 that they were behind. what can we do about the late fees that they were being charged, that you're now asking us for, that we didn't know about to prevent the late fee in the first place?
Have a total?
Did you bring the bill we received
Yeah.
yesterday?
There's also a,
The-
did it go to
That's the
Lynn?
account statement?
Yeah, it's right in the neighborhood of 500 and something dollars in late fees. And I do not have the exact total.
So,
written
was the
down.
lien actually placed on your property, or did
No,
you come
we-
and you paid? You came into the water billing office and you paid the past due amounts, just not the late fee?
Correct.
Okay.
Total due was
And-
close to 2,000.
Yeah.
So you guys, thank you very much. You set us up on a 2-month payment plan, and thank you.
April, is there a way we could set that billing up where an email would go to the tenant? Or the bill would go to the tenant and the email would go to the landlord?
I don't know about that, but we can send bills to both the landlord and the tenant at the landlord's request.
Yeah, we went ahead and took over this bill for them, so we won't run into this problem again.
But is there still something we can do about the existing late fees to reduce those?
In Clinton Township.
Yeah, I mean.
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
Specifically, the $40 late fee that's been charged every month for the last several months. And it's
And there's an
continuing to be
$8
charged over the
monthly
2
late
months
fee,
that
too.
we're trying to make up the.
So it's
Well,
$48.
part of the problem is we don't know exactly how much
yeah.
we're dealing with
So-
right here.
Yeah, in the past, what you could do is next month, get on the agenda, come with a exact total, and make the case to the commission to relieve you of those late fees.
Yeah, we
But
would,
we would need,
Yeah.
one, you'd need to be on the agenda, and two, you'd need to have the exact total that you're,
So the commission can have all the information in front of them.
Sure.
Instead of just sort of shooting from the hip.
Yep, completely
Is that an
understand.
appropriate request?
yeah.
Yeah.
that'd be- yeah.
we
get
do that.
those. Yep, we get those, yeah. But right now, we're like, I don't know. how many.
Yeah, you guys are in the blank.
Please give
I
me
completely understand.
$2,000. Sure, why not? No, yeah.
Right. And then also give
Yeah, yeah.
April time to look into it.
Calculate
Make
that.
sure, we can do a little research, like make sure they have your contact information, your email in the billing system so that
Yeah.
this couldn't.
Doesn't occur
And thank you. Everybody has been very helpful. We truly appreciate it. Thank you very much.
One other request, if you don't mind sending me a letter or some kind of email requesting
Absolutely.
need, clearly expressing the need for city water, we will use that in our grant applications.
Would you like us to take pictures of the bathtub we're about
Yes.
to replace?
Yeah.
Because
That,
it's completely
and
orange?
if you would like to test your well,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Please.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
And-
get
and I
We
us
did
mean-
get
the
it tested,
results.
a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But we certainly can get it retested.
if you would, go to KPH, test the well, and get us the results, that would definitely help with our
I'm a little
expansion
frightened
efforts.
because I'm like, I don't know.
I would
what'll
be
happen.
more frightened as to what's going in the body as to, but, yeah.
Is it true that the whole entire street, that whole area there does not, they all run off a well?
Yeah,
Yes.
if you're on a well, then they're all,
So
yeah.
6th, 7th, Terrace, most of Pittsburgh, all are well water.
And that's all Clinton Township as
Yes.
well? Okay.
I can confirm from personal experience
Yep.
that M&M Trucking's water was not drinkable.
Oh, boy.
Right, in the last grant application we submitted, we did include pictures of toilets. That,
Oh, it's, I mean,
so yeah, we're
Yeah.
tubs and, yeah, if you write us a good narrative in sort of a letter format, that would be very helpful.
Yeah. It's probably good for you to know there have been, what, E. coli hits? Yeah. Yeah, so,
In the Buckeye edition.
in the, well,
okay.
can't
How
imagine
soon
it's.
do we think we'll have city water there?
I have a meeting, to write some more grants,
It's part of
next
the,
week.
it's part of the capital budget request, I believe, so.
Yep.
We're working on it, but
It's a
you know,
couple
the
years out.
speed of government that we're
Yeah.
all,
Yep.
you know, so.
we're,
Well, it's a pretty old house, and as far, I mean, that's the only water that it's ever had, so.
Yep. No, it's in progress. I was working with a consultant to update our exhibits and things yesterday
Yeah, council has approved the grant application. Is that right?
for Crystal Avenue.
Yeah.
But we're working on a bigger picture for 25.
Okay.
Oh, thank you,
See ya.
gentlemen.
We're working on it. Yep.
I'm not allowed to say it's in the pipeline. I think that last meeting.
Careful. All right. Intend your puns. You've been directed to intend your puns.
Yeah, if that would be all right. Thank you very much.
Aaron needs some dad jokes.
All
They
right.
tell me to be quiet.
All right, is there, thank you.
We
Yep.
really
I hope
appreciate
that
it.
helped.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Is there anything else that needs to come before the Utilities Commission this morning? Hearing none. Well, I do want to officially welcome Robin DiPolo, our new Water Billing Office Administrator.
Yay, thank you.
All right, if there's nothing else, I'll call for adjournment.
Yeah, I'll move for that.
All right, yeah. Woo. All right.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, stay here. We are adjourned.
You guys want to talk about the lime holding tank? I didn't get all of it. Off the printer.
Know what that is?